Goodies, welcome back to your girl channel and to my kitchen cook. And honey, today we are making saltfish and callaloo fried dumpling with plantain in our kitchen fast season simple. So make sure you subscribe and turn on your post notification settings. And for all of my returning goodie, you know 7-Eleven, alright? Let's cook. Okay, goodies, you ready for cook? Let's cook. Let's get into our ingredients. Here I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, half teaspoon of salt, and a tablespoon of baking powder. We are gonna make with fried dumpling them. Now let's talk about our other ingredients. I have a can of callaloo here because, honey, you know I don't have no garden outside with no fresh callaloo out there, so we're going to just have to make this canned callaloo work, and it worked pretty well. Now this is what I'm going to use as far as my saltfish is concerned, because this is what I found in the store and it worked pretty good. You can't use that, right? It not have no bones in it, so it worked perfectly fine for me. You can use a Jamaican saltfish if you have that. In addition to that, you are going to need bell pepper, hot pepper, right? Tomato for sure. I love tomato in mine, and onion for sure. I'm gonna go with my avocado today, yes. On deck with a fried plantain. Now to season it up, I'm going to definitely go in with my vegetable seasoning here. This is the Grace brand. I'm really like it. Now because I'm doing saltfish and I'm toning down on my salt intake, I'm going with this salt-free season just to kick it up a neat kind of a notch, right? And of course go ahead and throw some black pepper up in that bad boy. Now to get my dumplings going, I'm using my almond milk, and I can't use water, and I'm using vegetable oil. Alright, let's get started, boo. In the pot right here, we are going to add our saltfish. Now you could do your saltfish overnight and make it the salt kind of come out of it, or you could do it like I'm doing here. I'm boiling it twice. Every 20 minutes we take it out, or 15 minutes to take it out, throw that water off, push fresh water in, and it is ready to go. Now we are doing our fried dumplings. Now when you do your fried dumpling, you make sure say you have hard butter. Now the harder the butter, the better the fried dumpling is going to come out, so it's better to use butter than margarine. Now after you complete that step, go ahead and use your milk of choice. Now you may say, oh, what kind of Jamaican I use milk in them fried dumpling? If you don't want to forget milk, honey, in your kitchen, use water. It will work just fine. But milk for me does something miraculous. What the word name? Forget about the word there. Something good up to the fried dumpling, right? So that's why I'm going milk every time I make my fried dumpling. I'm going milk. Now after it come like that, you just know when it's right in your palm of your hand. It just feel right. Get a plastic wrap and wrap it up, so that way you're gonna have the most perfect flake, okay, on the outside. Now moving right along, in a pot we are going to fry our plantains. So go ahead and just throw them plantains up in here. When I'm doing this recipe, I always like to fry my plantain first, because after the plant is done frying, it is going to leave a sweet little taste. It is going to do something unique into the oil. So I always fry my plantain first, and then fry the dumpling at the same oil. Man, it get the dumpling one nice taste, right? Alright, so we go ahead and fry them bad boys up for about 5 minutes, if that much, right? We just stove on medium heat, of course, and we are just going to move on and get our dumplings going into the same aisle. Go to the same aisle. Now remember, your fire should be at a medium heat, and you don't want to have this oil too hot, because you don't want your dumpling to be brown on the outside or golden color on the outside, and the inside raw as can be. So be sure that you put it in the oil. The oil is nice and hot. That's why I like to fry the plantain first, because you have the right temperature, right? Makes sense, right? Now I want you to just throw all them bad boys up in there. The dumpling does take about 10 minutes at a medium heat to fry. After the first 5 minutes, you're going to gently go ahead and turn these delicious looking, flaky, delicious, nice, delicious dumplings on the opposite side, honey. Nice and slow and gentle in that good old oil, boo. Turn it over, boo, and let that thing cook for another 5 minutes on that side. The thing smelling so good, so good, so good. Nice and yummy and perfect. This is exactly what you want to do. Now be sure that you have enough oil in your pot when you're frying your dumplings, right? Because the more oil is, the better it is going to be. It's not going to greasy at all. You want to be sure when you're frying the dumpling you have enough oil. The trick to the perfect fried dumpling is perfect temperature. If you have the perfect temperature, you're going to have perfect looking and tasting fried dumplings every time in your kitchen. Wow, straight. That is what your dumpling is going to look like, honey, when you are done frying for 10 minutes. You see how the thing look nice and flaky? Never burn up. It's just perfect and it's just right. Perfectly done, okay? That's what you want it to look like. Alright, boo. Now we're going to do our callaloo and saltfish. Now that is what your saltfish is going to look like after you boil it. Nice, alright? You don't want to boil out all the salt, but you want to boil out some of that salt. You don't want it too salty. That is what your callaloo is going to look like in the can. If you have never used a canned callaloo before, that is what it looks like when it's in the can. Now to go along with all of that, you're going to need onion and tomato and the bell pepper, of course, like I said before, and add scotch bonnet pepper. I'm not going to eat my avocado with it. All you have to do is grab some oil, throw it in the pot, and then throw your veggies of choice. Some people don't like to use tomatoes when they're cooking that, but me love tomato in mine. Of course, I added some fresh garlic, about a tablespoon or so, maybe a little bit more than that because I love garlic. And of course, I added my apple cider vinegar because why? I love vinegar. I like I always say, the vinegar cleanse your body from the inside out and make you look young forever. So that's why I use vinegar in my food every time. Okay, so now you want to give it a nice little spin, and after you do all of that and all of this, you go in and add your saltfish in, and I'm using the saltfish when I have no bone in it, right? So we go ahead and have this in, add it in, and then we're going to give it flavor. So we go ahead and add our vegetable seasoning to it, and of course you could substitute it. You may not have vegetable seasoning, just use whatever you have. All-purpose seasoning. I know every household have all-purpose seasoning, so go ahead and add it in. And because I'm making saltfish, I am using my salt-free seasoning today. I love my oatmeal recipe, but I now put oatmeal recipe on it because I want this to be salt-free. Okay, saltfish me I cook. Then I went in and add some black pepper. Just a pinch of black pepper here and there. Chip. Yep, chip. That looked like a teaspoon or so. But anyway, black pepper it was. Go ahead and give it a nice combination. Mix it a nice combination. Spin like so. And then what you are going to do after that, right, goodie? Look at that. You see, not too much oil. Remember, when you're making this callaloo and saltfish business, you don't want to add too much oil in it because people get this thing all mixed up with the oil business. I don't like it. Now you're going to add your callaloo to the mix. And then after you add your callaloo to the mix, make sure that you bring the bottom to the top, right? Bring the bottom up to the top because you want the callaloo to have flavor. Remember, it's in the can, you know, so you want it to have flavor. That's why it is critical to season your vegetables. You have to season your vegetables so everybody can come back here also and eat the food and tell it, oh, your food nice, right? So that is what it looks like after you've added callaloo and everything else to the mix. We are going to cover it up for no more than 8 minutes. 8 minutes later, you come back and it is sizzle and nizzle, the thing all the way up, and the thing is good. Now, look again when I tell you, we don't need no ultra greasy callaloo and saltfish. You see how that look? Now, that is just the liquid from the callaloo itself. A little bit of that oil that we had put in earlier, that is all you need. You don't want the thing to be all greasy. Everything is done. Our callaloo and saltfish is done. We're plantain done. We're fried dumpling done on deck. Got it? And that is what you have right there. Everything turn up loud. Happy Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Any day you want to eat this, you go ahead and eat this. The thing is turned up. This is one of Jamaican authentic recipe. Now look at the dumpling. See that? There's no greasy business either on the inside or the outside. Alright, so one thing you have to do for me, share it with all your friends and family. Tell them what's going on over here. Bring them, come and send them, come and waiting. After you get done doing that, tell me where you want to see me cook next in my kitchen. And remember, as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen. Enjoy.